What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ragnarok coming from Server 200, and we have another VIP 18 showcase for you guys today. Coming live out of 827 Holdout 22. What's up, Holdout? How you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm doing good, doing good. How's everything going with you?
Man, this is fun. I'm doing well. I've been traveling a little bit, but I'm glad to get back on the mic with us, our VIP 18s. This is fun, man. So thanks for getting on.
Well, I appreciate it, man. It sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah. You know, I'm not sure if you've seen a lot of the interviews. I've been interviewing a lot of guys in the earlier servers, you know, server 200 down to like even the lower ones, you know, the top, 100 servers, and try to go up a little higher because I think you guys have a really interesting thing going on too. And I mean, it's awesome that you're already a VIP 18 and you're in server 827. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to ask you some normal questions along the way. Are you ready to go?
I'm good. I'm ready.
Let's get it, baby. All right. Right off the get-go. How did you get into Last War? Was it a advertisement? Did you have a friend playing the game already? Like, how did you get into this game?
Man, it was purely an advertisement. You know, I always look for games that I can kind of pick up and put down during the day. It helps me with my ADHD and you know, saw this thing. I was like, oh, that looks pretty neat. I had no idea it was like a community game. I just thought I was going to be going down this bridge fighting things and got into it. And, you know, I enjoyed it. You know, I didn't think I'd go this far, but man, I've enjoyed it and really like talking to messaging people across the globe and, you know, get to know them in the game at least. So.
No, I love that. I mean, it's so funny. I think your story is similar to everyone's, right? That advertisement. So, hey, Last War, you did a great job of capturing us, right? Getting us, suckering us in. So amazing job. But no, it's cool. Like, what do you think actually kept you in the game to this point? Because you're what, a year and a half into the game? Does that sound about right or so?
I was, you know, probably about a year and a quarter.
Okay.
You know, and I mean, it really is, you know, just kind of the community that's kind of kept me into the game. I mean, I've kind of met different people at different times and, you know, it's really just the community really that's kept me in it. I mean, I like the battles for sure. I mean, it's a battle game. I like that. But it's the people, you know, like a lot of things in life, it's the people you get to meet and surround yourself with.
No, I love that. I'm showing the viewers right now just your total hero power, 425 THP and you're 827. I mean, I gotta ask right off the get go, is that normal in your server set? I don't know because I am at server 200. You know, we're 600 servers away. I'm assuming you've got to be one of the stronger guys in your server set. Does that sound right or no?
Yeah, that sounds right. So, you know, we go from, I want to say 805 to, you know, 864 in the season draw pairings.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and we'll match up with a few above us and below us and Desert Storm, that kind of stuff. But in my grouping, probably the second strongest.
Okay.
There's another in 823. Timeless Queen is my main rival.
All right.
If you look at my moments, you'll see a woman with a Queen shirt on at a football game.
All right.
I was teasing about, but
I see that. She must be an Ole Miss fan.
Yeah,
I love that.
So you know, and then a previous one too. I think I'm sitting next to her base, but you know, she is super strong. We're pretty close in power.
Okay.
I'd say to my knowledge, we're the strongest too, but within my alliance, there's Insane, who's probably the third strongest. And he was stronger when I joined. I just had a goal and I'm keeping with it. And then we're paired in season 4 against 857, which has 2 strong players in it as well. And, you know, but I think we're probably the 4 strongest players. I could be wrong on that. There is Abyss. I think it's Abyss. It's an 864.
Okay.
That account is super strong as well. Right there, I think they're probably right there with myself and Timeless, but don't match with them very often.
No, that's cool. I mean, hey, you touched on a few things I'm going to ask you. I see you're currently in R4.
Yeah.
I always ask, VIP 18s this. Do you feel like you were just pushed into leadership because you're so strong, or was that something that you wanted? I mean, a lot of times VIP 18s are like the R5 of their entire server because they're the strongest, right?
I was, previous alliance, I was an R1. And I was the strongest in the server, and I just was happy that way.
Yeah.
No, I was pushed into it. And, I mean, I enjoy it. I really like our leadership team, but I would never want to be an R5.
No,
My responsibility is to attack and, defend. So I don't have to do a lot of management.
No, that's awesome. So you enjoy the game solely based on just playing the absolute game itself. Go kill,
Right.
Go defend. That's cool. I get that. So it's cool to hear that because some people really play the game for the social aspect, right, or the diplomacy of it. Also the strategy part of it. So it sounds like for you, you're just like, no, put me in, coach. Let me go hit folks, and we'll kind of go from there.
The only thing I'll say every once in a while is if we have too many NAP agreements, I'm like, hey man, you got too many of them. This is boring. It is a battle game. Yeah. I want to be cooperative. I want to have allies, but I want to battle. So
yeah, what is probably your at this point your proudest moment in the game? Is it something in Champions Duel? Is it something from an earlier season? Is it a one-on-one thing? Is it collective? What would you say your proudest moment in the game is so far?
Well, I would say, when I first joined 823, Timeless Queen, 827, Timeless Queen used to be in this server. She transferred out. When I transferred in, there was a big civil war, and they just felt like it was better for everybody to separate. And so her alliance moved out with some others, and I moved in, and one of the first battles we had was against them, and we were matched against them in season 3. I'd say, I really wasn't sure what my base would do because she was quite a bit stronger at that point in time. But, I held up to her, so I was pretty happy about that.
No, so this is this is crazy though, right? Yeah. So like right off the get-go, you're telling me some information I got to dive into. You mean to tell me you moved into 827 and Timeless Queen was on here and she's your rival that moved off, and then you guys ended up fighting each other?
Well, I wasn't a rival until I moved to 827. Her rival was Insane, and they were kind of neck and neck as far as power-wise. And within server 827, my alliance and her alliance would battle each other daily during season 2. And so I thought, wow, they battle a lot. That would be pretty fun. I'll go join over there and we'll have lots of battles. Well, she moved out, and I knew that was a chance that she might do that. Man, I thought about moving in with her, not moving in, but moving to her alliance as well. But I like the other people more. I mean, nothing against her. They were more talkative.
No, I get it.
Some whales don't really like to talk a lot, message a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of her deal, and that's fine. But everybody else kind of welcomed me in with open arms, and server really is united. But it's interesting because our first season, our first, battle and VS and all that kind of stuff was against them. And, so I kind of jumped into the fire right there. I'm battling her. So, and it was fun, I won some, she won some, but no matter who won, it was always fun.
No, that's crazy. So it's funny. There was actually potential at one time to have both you guys on the same server. Oh my God. Right. Why not work it out? A lot of people would say, and yet you guys did the opposite. You guys were just like, no, let's fight.
Right.
That's from a third party perspective. I'm just like, that's hilarious. But that's what the game really loves. And like when I say the game, I'm speaking specifically, the developers want exactly
Oh
what
yeah.
you guys did. They don't want the super servers. They want some parity. So they want you big guys, you big VIP 18s going to other servers and fighting each other from that standpoint. So yeah, I think you guys are doing exactly what the developers wanted on that standpoint. So that's cool to see. I'm just looking at, right, obviously at your base and everyone surrounding you. You're American, correct?
Yes.
All right. Is this a Korean alliance?
Yes, it is.
So walk me through that, my man. So that's unusual. It happens, but it's more unusual. So how did that work out? Did you just say, "Hey, man, I just want to hang out with the Koreans. Like these are my people." Did you just find them and you're like, "This is it"? Like how did you go from, and I'm sure you get that from time to time, come hang out on an American alliance. We have a few Koreans on my
Yeah.
server, and we are definitely an American server. They get it a lot, right? They get it a lot from saying, "Hey,
Right.
you're Korean. What are you doing on an American server?" Or whatever it is, whatever ethnicity or background, whatever it is. People are always trying to pull people into their server that has something similar, if that makes sense. So kind of walk me through
Yeah.
how you as an American now in is it a Korean alliance or is it a Korean server? Kind of walk me through that.
Well, it is a Korean alliance. It's a Korean and American server, but probably a little bit more Korean.
Okay.
RFT is an American alliance in there, but I was originally on server 807. A lot of fun players. Liked a lot of those people, but we weren't very strong. I was by far the strongest, and I think really me being on 807 hurt them because it matched us up with a lot of stronger servers because I was on there that we really didn't have the depth to compete with.
Okay.
And so, what I learned is season 2 is people were pairing up, and especially going out after season 2, they were pairing with stronger groups, pairing up. So I knew I was going to leave. I was going to take, I had a few people that were going to come with me that were in my previous alliance. And we were looking around and that's when I started talking about 827 between Insane and Timeless Queen. The first time I ran into them was in the arena. And I messaged both of them. I like to get in the arena and I'll start messaging the top ranked players just to see who responds. And we've gotten to meet a lot of good players. Majitas and his alliance is really a good dude. I like him. He's on a Japanese server and alliance, but not he. But I was looking around, and those were the two strongest players. And I thought, I want to play with one of them, and we could have a really strong alliance, and we'd have good participation. But I didn't think I was going to end up there. I thought I'd end up at a different place. But a player, Ari, it came with me. Very smart player. I'm a dual citizen, I believe, in Canada and Korea. But we were talking, and I really, have a lot of faith in what he says, along with some other people too. But he said, "Why don't we try K7K in 827?" And we looked around. I talked about it with Josh, who's in our line, and Soshao, who's in our line. And we're like, "Let's give it a try." And so we did. And I will say, it was a little tedious doing all the translation at first. I'm used to it now, not a big deal. But man, I will tell you, everybody is so nice. And the Koreans in our alliance, the ones I've just met in general, I mean, they're all super nice, and I've just enjoyed getting to interact with them on the game. I'm not going to say I know them because it's in a game, but I enjoy the interaction. And we have, the game did make it a little bit easier. We can set up little group chats with inside the game. So we've got, an English speaking chat within our server, or within our line. Some of the other alliances that make it a little bit easier when you get tired of translation. You kind of go to that and chat.
Right.
But it's that's how I ended up there. I mean, if you want to, give the credit to anybody, which I tell Signal or our R5 periodically, I'm like, make sure you keep Ari happy because that's why I'm here.
Yeah,
So,
he's the guy. So Ari's the guy. All right, so shout out,
he's the guy.
shout out to Ari for bringing Holdout to 827. I love that.
Right.
No, it's a cool story, and it's funny. I totally agree with you in terms of people that are different from us. I speak with Koreans, people that are Arabic, people are Spanish, Chinese, all the time, just people that are not fluent in English, if that makes sense. And they're generally they're generally nicer than any of the Americans, so it's so funny. I find I think it's just maybe that, us Americans are so, we're just so brass, with each other, and we can just come off so rude, not sometimes unintentionally and intentionally,
right?
But it's
I think sometimes that messes it kind of gets lost in translation too.
Sure.
But Josh, I'm gonna say is like Nuckenfutz or something like that. He was the R5 in my previous alliance, and he came with us, and so he and I and some others banter back and forth, pretty aggressively, like we do.
Sure.
When we first started doing that, they were like, "Do y'all not like each other? Why did y'all come together?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they don't. I get it.
Good.
No, it's funny. If you don't understand the language, right? People could pick up that you guys really don't like each other. And no, I totally get that. I was doing another VIP 18 video with somebody, and they were telling me essentially the way they say hi to each other in the morning is "fuck you." And I was like, I was like, excuse me. And they're like, yeah. And in our language, everyone just says that to each other. And that's good morning. And I'm like,
that's right.
What? It's like a kind of a good morning or goodbye. I thought that was just so funny, that they were telling me this. So I love that. You guys are currently, correct me if I'm wrong, in season 4. Is that correct?
That's right. We just had our factions tonight decided. So
nice. Congratulations. How did that play out?
I don't know. I think it went well. There's good people. I had some good friends that we were hoping to be in our faction that ended up on the other side, and that's fine because outside of my alliance, my closest friends were the guys I've battled the hardest, and it's been the most fun, except for Timeless. She just doesn't like me. And that's fine. That's part of the game. But for everybody else I get along with, I say she doesn't like me. I don't know if she does or not. I never talk to her.
Sure.
I just deal with her. So, but that's the fun part about it. I mean, you can have a hard battle, and we're not really hurting anybody, so you can tease around afterward.
So. No, totally. I love that. No, season 4 so far, I think, was one of my favorite seasons. Again, we're a little ahead of you, and where I'm going with this is, being where you guys are at. Do you guys commonly look to those earlier servers to see what we did before? Is that a common thing that you think some of your guys
pretty much?
Yeah, doing from a strategy standpoint, like a strategy standpoint. Just to
absolutely,
strategize and say, hey, look at these guys. They did this here. Looks like what we kind of need to do. Is that normal for you guys?
It is for our alliance. We've got a number, and a lot of alliances do this. They have players that have played in earlier alliances and are playing in our alliance now. And I think their main accounts are in our alliance, but we get a lot of information, guys that have played in earlier seasons on how to approach things and setups and all those, just all the strategy part, which is really helpful because the one thing that I haven't understood yet is the tactic, the tactic cards.
And
I just haven't had time to look at it. So finally I was like, guys, just tell me what to do. And they're like, do this.
Sure.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So like, I'll give you some high level information on that. You're so strong that certain cards you might not want to use, if that makes sense. So, I'll give you an example, like the 4v1 card, meaning you'll be able to add and get like an extra buff if you were to add Murphy, into your into your air squad, right, to counteract a missile.
Yeah.
Right. But you're so strong, you probably wouldn't even care to do that a lot of the times. And also, if you're taking Murphy out, that means you're probably either putting Carly or maybe Lucius into your now your tank squad, right? And now, you're losing that buff. The 4v plus one will actually help like rebuff that a little bit, but it kind of counteracts it if it also does, because you're losing a buff to gain a buff. So it's like, should I really use this card? I know a lot of VIP 18s were like, no, I'm not going to. However, some folks that really rely on that first march, they're like, oh man, I gained 2-3 million, strength in my first march. So of course they're going to use it. It just depends on how you play the game. But no, the tactic cards they're cool, man. They definitely help. So, I love that.
I like them.
No. It's, I love that. How have you liked, what is it? Blood. Have you guys done, the Blood Knight Hunter yet?
I love it.
It's good, right?
I mean, anything that has to do with battles, I love. I mean, I killed, everybody. What I really love about it is usually when players see me coming, they run.
Yep.
Or they go somewhere I can't hit them. Now they don't know what I am. And so I just go like hide in a weak alliance, and people come in and are like going to take me out. And all of a sudden they're like kicked out. And they're like, what just happened?
No,
and I get messages like, not fair.
No, I know it's, the anonymous factor. I also love the fact it's twofold. This is like the first competitive real game that I think the developers let us play that seems like they're not trying to squeeze our wallet for once. And I say that loosely, because I understand the game. I understand a lot of the nuance where the developers want us to, make more money and spend more money, but this gave a lot of weaker folks a chance to be competitive, right? Even just survive.
Right.
There's
survive.
To survive. Also keep up your, holding up your your teleports, your TPs. I thought that was just a cool thing. You run them, you run out and you're out. I think it's one of the best things they added, at least from a season standpoint. Brilliant. Yeah. So, bravo to developers on that standpoint. Loved it. Big fan of it.
It has been good.
It was, right. Just you saying you're playing in it, loving it. I'm like, oh man, take me back. You know what I mean? A little bit. You're a serious gamer, right? I showed everyone your 425 THP. You're playing the heck out of this game. How do you balance real life in this game? Like, what does that look like for you?
Well, it helps me because I do a lot of different things during the day, like a lot of different activities. Go from meeting, with a bunch of nice, great people, where I'm going into a meeting where it's very contentious, or I'm going from a contentious meeting to a meeting with some grandparents.
You're talking about real life, like what you do in real life, right?
I'm talking about real life.
Gotcha.
And so for me, I just need to kind of catch my breath and really spend a lot of time in a game, because it helps me kind of just adjust out of whatever meeting I was in, and it helps me clear my mind, a 5-minute break so that I can go in and do the other thing.
So the game in a way is actually grounding you.
Well, it does. And that's one of the reasons I've stayed in it so long, why I like it. And I mean, I call myself an OG gamer because, I started playing games on my Nintendo or my Atari. And I played Pong before that. So you're
aging yourself. You're aging yourself. Here we go.
I'm not a younger player. Yeah, you're right. I'm not a younger player. and so so I've been playing games my entire life, and like Call of Duty, those types of things. I'll do that, but I can't do that during the day.
Sure.
You know, so but this on my phone, I mean, I do it, and really it's turned into my favorite game. So I mean,
totally. No, I love it. You can play this game anywhere, right? Doesn't matter if you're on the toilet. Doesn't matter if you're in the bed. Right. Doesn't matter if you're in between meetings, right? And you're waiting for a client to come in, and you got 5 minutes to, send out a truck, whatever it might be, right?
I'll be at a basketball game with my wife and friends or whatever, and it's reset time. I'm like, man, we're taking a building. I'll be right back. And I'm or a sport or whatever, I'm like, or if I'm at work, there's other people in my office that play the game. There's like, certain times of the day, there's a line in the restroom. It's easy because you can pick it up and put it down.
No, totally. Yep.
And when people you can be in the middle of a conversation and drop it. Nobody gets mad if you're not responding because they all do the same thing. I mean, sure. Put a message out there, then later they'll respond back to it.
Totally. So, no, I get it, man. Yeah. I love that the game's been a little bit of an outlet for you in your life. So that's cool to see. That's amazing to see, actually. The game also has a lot of politics, drama you've probably seen before. How do you usually now navigate around those politics or drama? I mean, you're a stronger player. I'm sure people come to you and try to bring you into it. What do you do?
I'm anti-drama. If somebody wants to get me, if it gets too dramatic, I'll attack them, or I'll just tell them, hey, this, it's a game. I'm not letting my emotions get upset about a game. Like, people will be like, why'd you attack them? I'm like, because they were there. I mean, that's what we do.
It's what we do, baby. This is the game, right? I love it.
Yeah. That's right.
No, have you, I mean, you brought this up, sometimes there's just a lot of NAPs in your guys' alliance. This is a war game though, right? Have you ever broken a major agreement or an NAP because you were just bored and you just wanted to go do something else or for another reason? Have you ever done that before?
Well, accidents that happen, and you can always say oops, and I'm not going to say I do things on purpose, but I get bored like everybody else, and sometimes things happen, and if somebody gets upset, I just say, well, get stronger, you'll be okay. And so I just kind of take it that way.
Yeah. It sounds like you just overall don't take it too serious. Even if people get real serious with you and get real upset, you don't take it too serious.
No, never.
I love it. You treat it like a game.
The only time I got upset was when somebody was like, who I thought was not going to betray me, betrayed me in the game. And I got upset then, and, but look, I don't really care.
Oh,
just like tonight, we had our factions, and, people were all upset about, we didn't get who we wanted, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, guys, we're going to be okay. Just go out and have fun, work hard, have fun. So,
no, I like it. I like it. So,
but if I run into the guy that betrayed me, I'll lash him every time.
All right. Well, hey, let's, I want to hear that. Like, who is this? Who's this person that betrayed you? Who's this person that makes you feel this way that you're,
look, season 3, we had an alliance that was in our faction that basically partnered with our arch rival 823 Timeless Queen.
Mm-hmm.
And they were in our faction. And we knew they were going to do it. They kept acting like they weren't going to betray us, and we just never felt good about it. But and the dude finally admitted, he's like, we're friends, and now he's in there. Like, he transferred over after the season. I'm like, good, because she can maybe protect you, but maybe not. But it was that, and I really, I don't know. I mean, like I just sent messages tonight. I was like, look, let's all play it straight up. We got 4 alliances and we can battle each other and be friends, but let's just, this is not fun if you don't have good battles.
Oh,
But if you got all these naps, I mean, why are you going to play? I spend the money because I like to win the battles and I like to have good battles. But one thing I've learned, if you don't have strong opponents and you're strong, it can get boring. You want to have strong opponents because, if everybody runs from you all the time, then you're not having fun battles. So
totally. There's this balance, right? To where you want to win, but you also don't want to just like win just so easily, essentially. You want to have a little bit of that push. You want to have a little bit of that struggle. You want to have a little bit of those butterflies going in and knowing that this is going to be really tough. And when you do win, it feels that much better,
I mean, it certainly is more fun when you win, but I tell people all the time, I'm like, man, some of my most fun battles were when I lost.
Sure.
So,
yeah, you lose, you learn, right?
But what I'll say is I want to play it straight up. I don't want to.
Yep.
I don't want to win and like convince other alliances to betray their fact, whatever. I think it's fair to the other faction members.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just unique on that side, but
you're not. You're not.
4-on-4 is good.
No, you're totally not. Been in the same situation before, where we felt like we got betrayed on some situations where we thought we were just going to have it 1v1. I always tell everyone, we're fine to lose as long as we lose straight up. That's the number one thing for us. There's like, why are we playing this if you're just, I guess that's part of the game though. That is also part of the game. That's an element of the game to get multiple people to, create or do something to bring someone down. So I understand that piece. And if that's the case, at least stab me in my chest, not stab me in my back.
Right.
You can just be honest with me and just be like, oh no. I'm going to join these 3 other folks to bring you guys down. Oh, like, I guess there's no surprise now. At least I'll respect that a little bit more,
Yeah. I'll tell you, for me too, I kind of look at, I look at season battles a lot different than I do capital battles, although a lot of people don't. Because we've had close alliances that have said, hey, come help us in a capital battle. Capital War, and I've done that, and then I've had people come in and fought against me against Capital. But in a season, it's a little bit different because it's multiple servers, multiple alliances. Usually in Capital War, it's your server against another server, and it's just different to me. Now that's just me, and I get that, but I really think it's, because you're talking about so many more servers and alliances. I just like to play it straight up 4-on-4, and not everybody in my own alliance agrees with me. I'm like, that's just the way I want to do it. And I don't, I want to play by the code I've got. So that's what I try to do.
No, you make your own code and you got to live by it. So I respect that.
The other thing is I really love going and helping the other alliance too. Because there's some really fun players that I've gotten to know, and they're in some alliances that aren't quite as strong, but I love going out and helping them. And that was one of the reasons I, really decided to kind of get stronger, was to kind of protect my own alliance. But then also I learned that, hey, I can go help other people too, that I'm friends with.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
So you mean you go from other alliances within your server.
Right.
Yeah.
Or as in a season, I've got good friends in other servers because we've been paired so many times together, whether we're opponents or in the same group. I will go help some of them if if we've won our battle and my other server alliances have won theirs and they're still battling, I'll go help them in a season because still get faction points for it. I mean, that's part of the season. So
Holdout's going everywhere, man. Sounds like you are a man of the people, right? So you're going where you're needed, going where your friends and allies need a little help. So that's cool. That's unique.
Well, that, and I like the battles too.
Yeah, you're also just looking for. It sounds like you're also just looking for a fight. You're just like, hey, this is going to be a good fight. If I show up, I could probably help them a lot. So let me just jump in the middle of this chaos and see what I can wreck.
Yeah, I mean that's what I love doing.
No, so, I get it. That's part of the game, right? Is there a player from your alliance or someone you've played with that you no longer play with? Is it another? Maybe they moved away. Is there anyone that you lost along the way that you wish didn't move away? You're like, dang, that guy was awesome. He moved for whatever reason. Is there anyone like that you wish stayed?
There were a few people that I wanted to play with that were in the servers that I was with. But we never played together, and I would have liked the opportunity, but it really kind of came down to who was going to be an R5 and I wanted my guy, they wanted their guy, and so we never played together. And so maybe that would have changed things a little bit in 807, but there was one guy that when I was back in 807 that I moved alliances to play with him. And because we had started off we started in the same alliance together when we first started playing a game, and we kind of got bigger together. And he was the second strongest on the server. And now I can't even remember his name. I feel bad, the name, but I transferred over to the alliance, and like 2 days later, or maybe it was even the same day I transferred over, all of a sudden nobody ever heard from him. I'm like, dude, man, the reason I transferred over, we were worried. It wasn't like him to just disappear, but he did. And so I don't know what happened there, but he left the game. But I would have liked to have played with him a little bit.
Sure.
But really, the guys that I like playing with the most are the guys I'm still playing with.
Sure.
And I like a lot of the K7K people that I've met. They're really great. But, and I know there's a couple guys that are still just hanging around in the game just because we like BS with each other. And they like the game, but they're not putting the same effort into it because their life is different today than it was. But we still like to banter back and forth. And, look, we've been doing this, like I said, for over a year now, and you just get to know people. So,
yeah, I mean, remember, you mentioned Call of Duty, right? Those franchises come out with new games almost every year. This game is just this game's more or less adapting every year, and I believe I don't know, but this game could continue for years to come as they continue to adapt and create other modalities along the way that blossom into different stuff, whether it's different seasons, leagues, whatever it might be. So, yeah,
I think so. I think what's interesting too is what they could do with it. I like Winter Storm because I end up playing against a lot of players and older servers.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some VIP 18s and the 1000s that are just, for length they've been playing are crazy strong.
Oh yeah.
They don't have a lot of the weapons that I do, that kind of stuff, because I've just been in longer. I'm exposed to them.
Sure.
But man, they've got these hero powers that are, or the Wall of Honor powers that are just crazy. Like, the main difference between myself and Timeless Queen is her hero wall is like twice the size of mine. And it's because I didn't pay attention to it. I mean, I got my, it was probably until about 2 or 3 months ago that I realized, damn, a lot stronger. I need to pay attention to that.
Yeah.
And I just, I didn't.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a lot of these I hate to use the word elite, but a lot of really, 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 really strong players are dumping all of those gyms.
Yeah.
If you've seen other interviews where I actually show people's bases, and I'm sharing their stuff, we're able to see their gym count. My gym count's 383,000. That's nothing when I look at some of these folks. Like some of these folks have millions upon millions upon millions, 4 or 5,
Look,
8,
I
6,
got
7.
2.5 million
Yeah, I believe it.
right now, and
I
I
believe it.
was 4 million,
Yep.
and I blew it down and build it back up. I don't buy gems though. I just don't buy it. I just don't do that.
Yep.
But I went from having no decorations to I have no more decorations to buy, because that's where I was getting my gems from, was buying the decorations. And all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I believe it, and then, I bought all kind of resources when, when I was seeing that we were going to be able to upgrade to headquarters 35. I knew it was going to take a lot. I ended up overbuying for that. But then when we got this new tactical weapons tech, man, that burns them too. And I love that thing.
Oh yeah. Where you at on your weapon right now? The tactical weapon tech.
I'm at 81% on that tech. And I got the one thing I stopped buying, which I wish I never would, are drone parts.
Sure.
And the drone data, because I can go to probably about 281 on the drone right now. I'm just waiting. I don't know why I'm waiting for BS. I really don't care about BS, but a lot of people on my server do. So I just try to help them out and kind of use a lot of that stuff when I need to. But I wish I would have never stopped buying drone parts, because if I could, I could be at 290. So, and it takes a long time to collect them.
Oh yeah. So, I know that firsthand. I'm still trying to collect up to my 250 drone. So I'm at 244 right now. So I know it firsthand, and everyone's problem is different, right? Some people are just trying to get into the 200. So it's funny, man. It's real problems. I think we know who your biggest rival is. You've named her a couple of times. Timeless Queen, right? Is that her name?
Yeah.
That's right. So Timeless Queen's probably your biggest rival. It sounds like you kind of sparked that. You were coming over here, she went over there. You guys ended up fighting. On the flip side of that, who do you respect most in the game? It could also be Timeless Queen for whatever reason. But maybe this is a player that you respect because their strategy was just unbelievable. Maybe this is a player that you wish, if you could get a VIP 18 seat to 827. This is the person you would want to bring over. They don't have to be a VIP 18. This could be anyone. Who do you respect the most in the game at this point?
I'll tell you. I mean, look, outside of my line, there's so many people in my line I really like and respect, and they are great tacticians, and they help me so much. I mean, so I'm talking outside of my line. Probably my favorite player outside of my line is Majitas in YUS. I think he's server 818. We've matched up against him a lot. There's another guy that I like a lot, Cal. He's Korean. Majitas is Japanese. But I like Majitas. I mean, I've almost gone to play with him a couple times, but I like the people I'm with so much, it's just hard to.
Sure.
But Majitas is just, I just like him. And there's other guys in our groupings that are like that. I like, there's my server does not like 816 for whatever reason. Not 816. Can't remember what number now because I haven't played them. But there are a lot of players out there that I like interacting with. But Cal, when I was just before I started really kind of going on my growth spree, he was the dominant player in our groupings, and he was coming out wiping everybody out. And then I was like, well, I'm going to get stronger, and I'm going to show him what I can do. And in season 1, which his alliance won that. but there is, um, you know, I mean, we had a battle and he couldn't kill me. And then, we started kind of messaging then, and we become buddies at that point in time too. And so I could see myself playing with those guys in the future. One guy that did leave the game, and he was in 806. No, it was 809. I think it was 809 when Cal was there. His name was Uzi, and he left the game. But I loved playing with him. He was a good guy. No matter where he saw me, he'd come and he'd start fighting. And we'd be messaging each other the whole time, like, "Not to kill you." I'm like, "Come on," because you're not. You just think you are. But I mean, it's that banter that, during some of the battles that I like to, with some of the good friends. But I'd say Majidas is just a cool dude. I like him.
Yeah. So shout out to Majidas, shout out to Cal, and then I think the last one was shout out to Uzi. I think those are the three that sounds like it really had a longing impression on you that you would probably respect the most. So that's cool. No, I think it's cool to have those folks that you recognize that maybe not on your server, but you still recognize are awesome in different ways. So that you can't necessarily get over. Have you formed any real friendships from this game that now you talk to them outside of the game? Is there anyone that you've met? Or have you met in in real life?
There's a couple that I do talk to in real life and bounce things off each other, and yeah, absolutely, that I wouldn't have met before, and and that's they're people I play with now, and I just I wasn't expecting that part. And there's a in some of my alliances, there are guys that, or players, I don't say they're all guys, but players get together in Las Vegas periodically. And I've thought about going out there and joining that. And then there's some players on a couple other servers that I've got to know really well that are Americans that it's easier to talk to. And, it's I wasn't expecting that, but there are certainly players that and look, it's got to be a special situation. Because I just don't like giving out the personal information too much, but there are a couple that I had, and it's been great.
No, I love to hear that, and I don't think anyone goes into these games saying, "Hey, I'm gonna find friends," right? It just happens organically. So I think the game has brought people together in ways they didn't think it would happen. I would love you brought up Vegas. I think Vegas would be an awesome last war destination. What I mean by that, what if the game had a little, I don't know, a meetup, I don't know, call it that.
I thought about at one time having in Las Vegas or somewhere, but Las Vegas would be a good fit. Holdout's crew. Who wants to come out and hang out at with Holdout in Las Vegas?
No, totally. No,
not that it'd be my crew, but just that maybe people would come. But but my wife doesn't like when I go to Las Vegas without her. So
I get that.
She don't like it. She looks at me like I'm crazy when I'm playing a game, like Saturday mornings during the big battle times. I'm like, "Don't talk to me. It's battle time." It's she'll be talking about he's playing his battle again, and so we're going to a tailgate, and I'm like, "I'll be there in a minute. I got to get this done."
Yeah, give me. I got a half hour to an hour, so just give me my time. I totally understand that. No, but I've thought about this. They have Comic-Con, and that's way bigger than this, obviously. But they have these cons that last a day or two. I think it would be amazing if they had a pop up. And I don't care if it's in Vegas or whatever, but they have a meetup. And if you had a panel with VIP 18 players, panel with the developers, stuff like that, some exclusive stuff you can get at those places that would help you in the game. Little things would be cool. I think Last War would actually if Last War sponsored it and created it or something like that, that would actually be a cool situation. Hey, it's just something I've thought of, but I don't know if it would ever happen. Still super fun to think about. If you could design one feature in the game or change one feature in the game, what would it be and why?
Gosh.
Only one. You can't go down a massive list now. So I'll give you mine. Right. It's like a pet peeve.
Yeah.
And you probably don't have this because you're so damn strong. Congratulations to you. But if I need to take off my red armor, my mythical armor, and then
yes.
it is so tedious to go one by one by one. Oh my gosh. Just please, for the love of baby Jesus, help me out now. Like, you would think this would be so easy.
I remember, yes. Yeah. Especially like you're in the arena and you got to move all those things around. Yes. Make it easier to.
Or if I'm trying to hit the boss, and maximize this, it should be clip, hit this. You would equip or not equip everything. You would think it would be that easy, but I'm assuming, I don't know this. I'm assuming there's something from the developer standpoint. It has to be something that's really hard for them to do. So I'm assuming it's really not. Yeah. It's not easy. Otherwise they would have done it. But yeah, that's mine. It's like my pet peeve about the game. Like, why haven't they fixed this? But that's just mine. What would be yours?
Well, one of the things we've talked about, because I have this in the Korean Alliance, is, if you have a certain VIP level, make everything automatically translate into your language. Versus having fish translate.
All right.
That would be big, because pushing the translate key kind of gets old. The other thing, which I did make this suggestion, and I'm not saying they did it because of me, I'm sure other people did it, but I was like, man, could y'all not set up like private chats within the chat? Because we'd like to have more than R4 and an alliance chat. And so now, you can set up different group chats within the chat function or the message function.
Sure.
And I really liked that. So that was one. But I would say, for me, the one thing I would change now, I really would like to, in the off season, have more than 2 days of battles. Desert Storm and Buster Day. And you got Winter Storm. I'd like to have more, and I guess they have Winter Storm twice now, but I mean, I'd like the opportunity to go out and just have some more serious battles.
Do you guys have Canyon?
We started that last year, and I loved that. That was a great feature.
And then have you guys had Desert Brawl yet?
We have not.
Okay, so you'll get Desert Brawl that will actually replace Desert Storm for a little bit. So that's interesting, because it's 4 instead of 2, alliances, right, fighting each other.
Okay.
So it's a lot, and people are using the crap out of gyms. It gets real expensive real fast, right? Because you're fighting some strong folks. So that's the other thing. You're seated against some strong folks. So that'll come. So you're going to get some more stuff coming down the pipeline for sure. Just so you know. So that's good information for you to know. I think this is a good question to ask you. What's your best or favorite trash talking moment? Either one you've delivered or one you actually received.
When Timeless Queen said I was scared to battle her, and I was like, dude, I just sat in front of you 30 minutes and let you hit me all night. I'm not scared to battle you at all.
That's funny.
She was trying to smack talk me, and that was I mean, I was just hanging out in their server, and we had look, when we start battling, I start getting messages from people on all of the servers because everybody wants to watch it. Mm-hmm. And the first time, like I said, I told you about the kind of that first time I battled her, I was like, man, I held up to her. I mean, she killed more of my soldiers because she was a lot stronger at that time, but she never pierced me. She never caught me on fire. And, and so, and I was able to put some shots on her too. So, and then she said I was scared. I was like, dude, I'm not scared. I just sat in front of you for 30 minutes. So, I kind of like that because it was with my main rival. But I mean, look, I like to banter all the time. And that's one of the reasons I like Cal and I liked Uzi. I don't with Majidas as much. He's such a nice guy. I don't really, trash talk with him. But some of those other guys I do. And we kind of, it's just fun, because one, we know nobody, we're not taking it personal. If I don't want to get people upset. So if I start trash talking somebody and they get mad, I'm like, man, bad.
Yeah, it's just not worth it.
Right. But I do, because I mean, look, I do it all day in my office and with people I work with. Like,
sure.
I mean, I think that's one of the differences I've learned between people in the U.S. versus a lot of other countries. Mm. And maybe I'm wrong on this, but man, we trash talk daily and all the time. So, and that's just part of it. But in a nice and respectful way, if you can trash talk in a nice, respectful way, there's lines you don't want to cross.
Yeah, I think other countries also trash talk, I'm sure, but I think it's just, I think the nuance in them reading the English that we're probably presenting in text, they probably can't understand that nuance of trash talk, if that makes sense. So it can come off almost offensive when you're just to being like, I'm just joking, right? This is just for fun. And they don't understand that because they can't hear the inflection in that text. And that can even be the case when you're speaking perfectly great English to another English speaker, right? They're gonna be like, dude, are you serious? And you're like, no, I'm not serious at all. I'm just making fun. Right. So I can totally see that. I'm going to have a couple more questions for you. I think, this is a fun one. What would you, tell a player that wants to get where you are? You're 425 million THP. You're one of the stronger VIP 18s in your subset.
I get that question all the time.
Yeah.
And how do you get there? And I just send that emoji back where the guy's throwing the money up in the air. Like that's all. That's what it takes.
Yeah.
People ask me, what am I good at the game? Buy button. I'm good at purchase. I can hit that buy button really good.
You're great at that. You have heavy thumbs.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's great.
I mean, it really, it's not a secret. It's like, now there are some great tacticians that have done some really amazing things with not much power, but or not spending as much. But for me, I mean, and that's why I like being in my alliance, because there's a lot of great people that really helped me understand what I was doing. But I mean, if you have somebody who wants to buy a lot of crap, I mean, it's hard to overcome that. So
it is. There's some also like really strong people out there that are just not very smart, like how they fight and stuff. I've seen that so many times and I'm just like, oh man, this is just like a guy that has money and does not know how to play the game. Like that happens sometimes. So it's funny. My last two questions are going to be about your name. Number one, Holdout 22. Okay. I want to know the reasoning of that name. And then last but not least, obviously we got the present icon, meaning you are VIP 18, meaning you are also working on a base. We're going to want to know about the base. So first and foremost, about Holdout 22. What's the name reference? What is that about? Where'd that come from?
So that was really just something from when I was younger, and I was playing video games with my friends in college and after college, and I would always tell them, like, man, just hold out, we'll get there in a minute. And they started finally calling me Holdout, and so it just kind of stuck. And then when I got to this game, I was like, Holdout 1 through 21 was taken. So Holdout 22 was there.
Wow. 1 through 21 was taken?
I will say 1 through 21, but there was some that were taken, and I just ended up with 22.
Sure.
And I can't remember how I came up with the 22, to be honest with you. The Holdout was from high school.
No, that's amazing. So do people call you Holdout till this day?
Some of my high school friends do. Yeah.
That's so good.
They do. Of course, look, that was over 30 years ago too. So they call me other names too.
Yeah, of course. No, I get it, but I love
You know?
I love that story, man. Story. It sounds like you're overall a pretty positive person. Because it's just like, hey, just hold on. We'll figure this thing out essentially.
Well, my dad taught me very early on that, he would ask me, like, that glass half full or half empty?
Mm-hmm.
No, he said, what is that glass? I was like, it's half empty. He's like, no, it's half full. And it's just that positive mentality. So I did the same thing with my kids. I've always preached positivity to them and having a positive attitude and it's just a mental set. And so I just, I preach that to them and it's for me, it's done well. So
no, I love that. I love that.
Positive is a big deal.
I love that. That's how your outlook is. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So last question, man, people are going to want to know what kind of base we working on. What's, I looked at obviously a couple of your, PFPs. It looks like the werewolf. I mean, it is
a wolf. Okay. It is a wolf on fire, breathing wolf, fire breathing wolf.
All right.
So it's going there. There is in my moments. There's a couple drafts in there.
Okay.
That they've given, and it's going to be a fire breathing wolf that's standing on kind of a pedestal that has a little lava flowing out.
Yep. I got it. So everyone can see it. Yep. I got it here. This is cool. This is cool, man. Yep.
Yeah.
I see. I like the emblem on the ground as well.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of other things, but I got a draft of the, or approved the animation today. And so I think that's going to be really neat. They're going to put a lot more details into what they gave me, but excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. I get messages all the time, people asking about it, people I know and people I don't. And I'm always, I try to respond back to most people just because I like to talk. I'm a talker. Mm-hmm. And so, I usually at least give a wave, but if somebody asks like, hey, what's going on with the base? I'll just send them a link to my moment. Just send them a link to my base and tell them, look at my moment.
Yeah.
But, I guess I'm one of those people in the game that just likes to chat with people. So I just, I chat a lot. It helps. I mean, that's the whole purpose for me is, I'll say the whole purpose, but, part of like resetting myself during the day and kind of letting my nerves calm down a little bit. Kind of pick up, and if somebody's messaged me, I'll just message them back. So.
Sure. That's good, man. I mean, the game definitely has a massive social aspect, right? And I think the funny thing is you can be anyone you want to be in this game, right?
Yeah.
If your name is John in real life, John doesn't need to be playing this game. It could be Holdout, right? So Holdout, Holdout is whoever Holdout wants to be. And if Holdout is a fire breathing wolf, then Holdout is a fire breathing wolf. And and if John in real life wanted to be that, down the road, that's cool too. But this is his virtual game, and this is his virtual PFP, and this is who he is. So I think that's cool, right? So I just wanted to say thank you for being obviously on this and giving me the opportunity to walk through some questions, to learn more about you. Obviously also 827, your history. It was amazing. Yeah. Was there anything else that you wanted people to know about 827, Holdout 22, anything in general before we leave?
And, the one thing I would say, well, two things I'd say is, one, if we offended somebody, it was accidental. We don't mean to. We just like to have fun, and battling is having fun. I mean, just because we have a battle, I message people all the time. It's like, hey, some of my best friends in this game, I battle the hardest, and that's why they're my best friends, because we do that in the game. Like, don't take it personal. We just, we want to have fun. Try not to take things personal. But also, if you want to know what we're thinking, ask us. We're not, we try to respond back to people, and we can't respond back all the time, but we 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 interact pretty well. One thing I do want to say, there are 3 other players that I didn't mention that I think a lot of, and I do message these people. Dragon Lady, who was in 809. She's moved now. She plays in the same server with I Am Conquest. I like those guys. They're really good. And then Chief is in, I think it's 815. She's in. They're just fun. They're fun to chat with, banter with, battle with, talk to. Just good people. So
love that.
So that's I think that's about it.
No, you know what? I'm gonna change your name from Holdout to Shout Out. You've been giving shout outs all night. Love to see it. People will love that as well. I think that just kind of speaks to who you are. Sounds like you definitely come from humble beings, because you're giving love to where love needs to be deserved. So love to see it.
Oh yeah.
Appreciate it again for the time and the effort of doing this. If anyone else wants to hear more about Holdout, you guys know where to find the man. He's on 827. Go reach out. He already told you guys he loves to chat. So until next time, over and out. We're out of here. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ragnarok. If you're still watching, thank you so much. And if you guys want content like this, please go ahead and hit me up. Slap it in my DMs. I want to hear from you guys. Who do you guys want to interview next? And more importantly, if there's questions you guys want me to go ahead and ask these guys, go ahead and hit me up with certain questions. I'll even give you guys shout outs. Thank you guys so much again for watching, and we're out of here.